What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. One of the #1 questions that I get is about the differences between octave mandolin and standard mandolin. If you are interested in playing the mandolin, which one should you start out with? What's the differences? What's the pros? What's the cons between starting out on octave mandolin or starting out on mandolin? And if you are a mandolin player and you are interested in getting an octave mandolin, why you should do that, the difference between the two, how you could use the octave in different ways than you can use mandolin. We're going to talk about it all in today's video, so stay tuned. Okay, so if you are somebody who is looking online and you see tons of videos of mandolin and you're thinking, oh my goodness, I would love to learn the mandolin, but then you see these videos start popping up of octave mandolins and all of a sudden you're questioning, okay, well, octave mandolin is cool, mandolin is cool, which one would benefit me to start with? I totally understand the question because they are both really cool instruments, and you know, we don't all have a ton of money to just spend on a whole bunch of instruments, and so you want to pick the one that is going to suit your goals and what you want to do in learning the mandolin best. My goal in today's video is just to give you a little insight. This is just my personal opinion as somebody who plays both and has played both for many years now, and also as somebody who is a music teacher and has seen both sides of the coin. I've seen and worked with people who started out with octave mandolin. They had never played mandolin before, but that's the one that they chose to start out with, and they're thriving. They're loving it. And then I also have and work with many people who were guitar players who went to octave mandolin, and then mandolin players who then went to octave mandolin, and then also just mandolin players. So I do have a couple of different videos on octave mandolin if you're looking for a little bit more information specifically about the instrument itself, its tuning, its uses, chord progressions, chord voicings, fingerings, like all of that. I'll link some of those videos down below, but I do have a video overviewing what the octave mandolin is. So if you're interested in that instrument, then you should go check out that video. But you do need to understand that they are similar, they're tuned the same. And that's why you see so many mandolin players playing the octave mandolin, because the tuning is the same. So if you understand how the mandolin works, then you will also understand how the octave mandolin works, and vice versa. However, you do not have to play both, and they are two very different instruments. And I think the more that I use both of them, the more that I'm realizing how different they are and how different you can use them. So the first question you need to ask yourself if you're trying to decide which one do you want to start with, which instrument would benefit you the most, is what is your goal in learning the instrument? Is your goal to play melodies? Do you really just want to play St. Anne's Reel or, you know, Whiskey Before Breakfast or some of these really common mandolin tunes? Is that your goal? You want to play melody? Do you want to go to jams with other people and just sit in and have a good time? Do you want to play with your family, play out on your front porch, play at family reunions? Do you want to sing? Do you want to sing and play? Are you interested in playing chords? You want to play along with your favorite songs. You want to know chord progressions. Maybe you want to play Celtic music, Irish music. Maybe you want to play arrangements of your favorite pop songs or soundtracks where maybe you're playing the melody and chords at the same time. I know that's a lot, and maybe you don't even know the answer to that question, but stop and think about really what you want to do. And maybe you want to do a lot of things, but kind of see if you can narrow it down to say, you know what, I think I really would like to just start with learning melodies, simple melodies, I'll start there. Or I really want to play chords, I really want to sing, I want to be able to accompany other people, I really want to play Celtic, Irish music. see if you can narrow it down to one thing in particular or a couple things that you really want to hone in on. And I say this because mandolin and octave mandolin they're both great instruments. They are great at certain things and also not so great at certain things. So for instance, if you're trying to decide between the two, if you want to play melody, you want to play fast, you want to be able to hop in on tunes with other people and be able to learn tunes very quickly, I would say mandolin might be the better fit for you. And here's why. Clearly, mandolin is the smaller instrument. It's a nice size. You can easily travel with it, but because of the size, you're gonna be able to play so much faster. Like, yes, you could definitely play fast on the octave mandolin, but because of the finger spacing, if your main goal is to play melodies, to play bluegrass melodies, to play quickly, to play fast, then I would say mandolin might be the way to go. And the other reason I say if you're really wanting to play melody to pick up mandolin, maybe you don't want to play fast. Maybe that's not your drive, not really what you're going for, but you still really like playing melody. Well, the mandolin is a higher instrument, and higher instruments tend to take the melody a lot more than lower instruments. And that's because our ear naturally gravitates toward listening to the higher instrument. So whatever the highest instrument is, normally is what the ear's gonna hear. And so that's why mandolin players, yeah, we might play, background chords for a little bit, but if you wanna play melody, mandolin is great. People play melody on the mandolin so often. It's a great instrument for that because it's nice and high. It really shines in playing melody and being the center of attention in a song. Octave mandolin, on the other hand, I have found that when I pick up this instrument, my goal has changed. When I'm playing mandolin, I'm focused on speed a lot of the time, improvising on bluegrass tunes, solos, maybe some chopping. But when I pick up this, I'm thinking more harmonically, meaning I don't play just a ton of single note melodies on this instrument. If I'm playing something on octave, I will utilize playing melody and chords a lot of the time, even if it's really simple. If you're playing, you can use open strings a lot on a tune. So yes, you can definitely play single note melodies on the octave, but I think that I tend to really gravitate more towards doing melody and harmony and making a full arrangement for the octave mandolin, where I don't need other instruments to accompany me. On this, I am doing the full accompaniment and the melody at the same time. For instance, I posted a video a while ago of an Irish tune, and it's got some chords, so you're kind of strumming with melody involved. So you kind of get the gist. It's chords and melody mixed together. My favorite way to use the octave mandolin. I don't do that as much on mandolin. And again, there is a little bit of a gray area. There is overlapping. You can do that on both instruments, but I'm kind of highlighting that I tend to do that a whole lot more on octave, and really like doing that more on octave because it's lower, it's in a guitar range. So you naturally kind of think more about playing chords on it. And also because of the range, it's such a low instrument. If you're playing the melody on the D string, it's just not gonna cut through as well if you're, playing with a mandolin player. Like, the mandolin is gonna be more prevalent in sound just because it's higher, and this is gonna get hidden a little bit more. And of course, octave is a lot bigger, so you're not going to have as much freedom to move quickly up the neck. I think on mandolin, I can shift, I can play higher on the neck, no issue. On octave, if I'm going to shift, it's a conscious decision that, oh, I'm shifting, because to shift on this is quite a big move. You really just have to be very creative, and that kind of leads me into another thing that I think is important when people are deciding what instrument they want to play, is the music that's available for the instrument. And I do think that this is a very valid thing, because if you are somebody that has never played an instrument before, octave might be a challenging instrument to start out with if you don't have a good teacher to help you and to kind of guide you, because octave is a more rare instrument. If you look up a song, you're most likely going to be able to find guitar music. There's guitar music for so many songs out there. Secondly, you might be able to find mandolin music for it. Mandolin is a pretty well-known instrument, not as well-known as guitar, but definitely way more well-known than octave. And especially if you're a beginner, you don't really know a whole lot about music, you haven't learned by ear, you don't know how to write music, how to create your own arrangements, it's going to be really difficult for you to find resources for music for octave. Yes, it's out there, but it's far and few between. So I do feel like in order to play this instrument, you do kind of, I'm not going to say it's absolutely necessary, but I do think that it is helpful if you already have a basic understanding. It doesn't have to be a super in-depth understanding of theory and chords and all that, but I think if you understand how chords work and how melody fits into chords, and also knowing where the notes are on the instrument, because the thing about this too is if you watch a mandolin player play a solo and you want to try to learn it, chances are you're gonna have to finger it a little bit differently, because sometimes, not all the time, but in a lot of things, I will have to use different fingerings, and maybe the mandolin player can reach the 7th fret with their 4th finger, but on here it's really, it's a stretch, so I might have to shift up a little bit and find a different fingering, and that's just hard to do if you're new, you're not used to having to make those types of decisions. Not saying it can't be done, but just saying be forewarned that there's definitely less options as far as music that's available for octave. That being said, I do make music for octave mandolin, and hopefully we'll continue to do that. So if you go on my website, I've got many arrangements available specifically for octave mandolin, and then I think you guys might be able to know that this was coming. But because octave is more in the guitar range, I would say if your primary focus in wanting to learn an instrument is to play chords, is to sing and play at the same time, then I think octave would be a great option for you, because it's got that nice supporting sound. It suits your singing probably a lot better than mandolin would. Mandolin, you don't see people just playing and singing mandolin by themselves a whole lot. You might see people in a band setting playing and singing mandolin, but as a solo accompaniment instrument, mandolin doesn't really fit the bill because it's so high. I also said if you're interested in, playing Irish music, Celtic music, if you really like the style and the sound of that, then octave might be a good fit for you as well, because this instrument actually works really, really well in Irish/Celtic music. There actually are more octave mandolin songs and tunes that you can learn from octave mandolin players in that genre. And also, if you don't know this, the bouzouki is an instrument very similar to octave mandolin. The tuning is a little bit different. I won't go too much into the specifics of that, but if you see a video of a bouzouki player, chances are you're going to be able to learn and play that same song on octave. You might have to tweak things a little bit, but they are very similar, and so a lot of what you see played on a bouzouki with some adaptation can also be played on octave mandolin. So I know I just kind of gave you guys a whole lot of information, but just to kind of concise everything, I would say if one of your primary focuses is to play chords and support your singing, then I would say octave mandolin might be a really good starting instrument for you. Or if you just love music and you're not typically really wanting to play fast, but you're wanting to play full arrangements of songs where you can be self-sufficient, you can play both the chords and the melody at the same time, octave would be great as well. If you are somebody that really wants to play a lot of common tunes, you want to play with other people on some of the common tunes, you want to play quickly, you want to be able to shift and move up the neck a whole lot, then mandolin's probably going to be more what you would enjoy. And of course, I mean, so many people start on mandolin and then go to octave mandolin. And I think that's what I did. I absolutely love both of them. And there's always the option. If you pick one of them and maybe you learn it for a couple years, you really like it, you could totally go to the other one. And then you can play both. Whichever one you pick to start, I think you're going to like it. You're gonna learn, you're gonna be able to play music. Don't think that, oh, if I choose the wrong one, I'm not gonna be happy. I think both of them are great starting options. And I do think if you have previous music experience, like I was talking about for octave, then you're gonna be just fine. If you are a complete beginner, octave might not be the best because of the lack of resources for that instrument in particular. But if you have a good teacher or someone that can help guide you through that, or you're willing to just watch a whole bunch of YouTube videos, look up things, search for music specifically for octave mandolin, and you're willing to adapt music to the octave, then go for it. Let me know down in the comments if you have any questions about octave mandolin versus mandolin, and if you are somebody that has played both, what is your experience with it? Do you agree with the points that I made, or do you have something to add to the conversation? I'm sure people would love to hear your thoughts down in the comments below. If you don't mind, hit that like button for me. If you stayed around to the end of this video, then congratulations. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and I'll see you in my next video.